After the age of 60, our priorities change. We start valuing peace, comfort, and the small joys of everyday life. But sometimes, without realizing it, we still follow old spending habits that no longer fit who we are today. Habits that once made sense, but now quietly take away our financial comfort, our emotional ease, and our sense of control. In this video, we are going to talk about the common spending mistakes many women make after 60, not because of carelessness, but because these habits became part of our routine over the years. This video is not about blame. It is about awareness. It's about gently understanding where our money goes and how to make choices that feel lighter, wiser, and kinder to ourselves. Before we continue, tell me which state you are watching from. Comment your state below. I'd love to know where you're listening from. 1. Designer labels. For many years, a lot of us believed that looking polished meant wearing certain brands, the right handbag, the right blouse, the shoes that made us feel presentable. And there is nothing wrong with enjoying style, but after 60, our lives change. We are no longer dressing for offices, meetings, or to prove ourselves. We are dressing for comfort, connection, and joy. Let me share Marilyn's story. She is 67 and lives in Virginia. For most of her life, she loved fashion. Her closet was full of name-brand clothing, not because she wanted to show off, but because it made her feel confident. For decades, that made sense. But after retirement, she noticed something. She rarely needed those clothes anymore. Her days were spent gardening, visiting her daughter, reading on her porch, and spending time at her church. Yet every month, she would still browse sales, still buy new scarves, shoes, jackets, things that stayed hanging in her closet with the tags still on. One morning, Marilyn sat on her bed and looked at her closet and said to herself, "Who am I dressing for now?" And that moment changed something for her. She didn't stop caring about how she looked. She simply shifted her focus. She chose soft fabrics, easy fits, and clothes that made her feel like herself. She donated many expensive items and kept her favorites. And you know what she says now? "I didn't lose elegance. I found comfort." True elegance at this stage of life is not in the brand. It is in your presence. You are already enough, and you always were. 2. The pressure to always upgrade technology. Let's talk about something that has become very common. The idea that we always need the newest phone, the latest tablet, or the most updated gadget. Companies release new models every single year, and the advertisements are designed to make us feel like we are missing out if we don't keep up. But the truth is, technology is supposed to make life easier, not more stressful. Let me share Elaine's story. She's 73 and lives in North Carolina. Elaine has always kept up with technology just enough to stay connected with her family. She used her phone to share photos, text her children, and video chat with her grandchildren. It worked perfectly for her. But when a new phone came out, her friends encouraged her to upgrade. The store clerk told her it would be life-changing. So she spent more than $1,000 on the new device. But instead of feeling happy, she found herself frustrated. The icons looked different, the settings had moved, and she couldn't even figure out how to answer calls at first. She didn't feel modern, she felt overwhelmed. After a few weeks of struggling, she returned the phone and went back to her older one, and instantly she felt relief. Here's the lesson Elaine learned, and it's an important one. New does not always mean better. Comfort matters more than features. And you are not behind if what you already have works for you. If your phone, tablet, or device can do the things you need, like calling, texting, taking pictures, or video chatting, then it is already enough. 3. The weight of credit card interest. Credit cards can feel like a small help at first. A dinner here, a quick purchase there, a gift for someone we love. And for many years, it works just fine. But slowly, without noticing, the balance can grow. And the hardest part isn't the amount we spent, it's the interest that keeps adding on top month after month. That interest doesn't buy us joy, comfort, or memories, it only takes away peace. Let me tell you about Linda, a 71-year-old widow from Arizona. After her husband passed away, she used her credit card more often, not because she was careless, but because life felt heavy and quiet. Ordering something online or sending small gifts to her grandchildren gave her a moment of happiness. But over time, she noticed her balance growing, and the monthly payments barely made a difference because most of it was going to interest, not the actual amount she owed. One afternoon, Linda sat down and added it up. In the past 2 years, she had paid over $7,500 in interest alone. Not $7,500 in purchases, $7,500 just to the bank. When she realized that, her heart sank. That money could have supported her medical care, home repairs, or even a small trip to visit family. But here is the part that matters. Linda did not blame herself. She took a breath, made a plan, and she asked for help. She spoke to her bank and arranged a lower monthly payment. She cut one unnecessary expense. She took control slowly, 1 week at a time. And she said something beautiful. The moment I forgave myself, the weight on my chest lifted. Debt is not just financial, it is emotional. But it does not define you, and it is never too late to lighten the load. 4. The silent drain of unused subscriptions. There is a quiet little trick companies rely on. They know we will forget. Forget to cancel a free trial. Forget what we signed up for during a busy month. Forget which cards are being charged. These small charges, $6 here, $12 there, don't feel big in the moment. But when they repeat every month, they can slowly add up to hundreds of dollars a year without us realizing it. Let me share Carol's story. She's 66 and lives in Michigan. During the pandemic, she signed up for several streaming services because everyone was recommending new shows. Netflix, Hulu, Disney+, a fitness app, and even a meditation subscription. At first, it felt useful. She told herself she would watch all kinds of things. But months passed, and she noticed she was watching the same 2 shows over and over, both of which were free on regular TV. One day, Carol looked through her bank statement and realized she was spending over $85 a month on services she rarely touched. That's more than $1,000 a year on things she did not even use. But instead of feeling bad, she simply became aware. She made a list, she kept only the one service she truly enjoyed, and she canceled the rest. And something surprising happened. She didn't miss any of them. She didn't lose entertainment. She gained control and a sense of lightness. She also discovered her local library offered free access to thousands of movies, audiobooks, and documentaries through apps like Canopy and Libby. Here is what this teaches us. You do not need more options to feel fulfilled. 5. The cost of chasing the jackpot. Let's talk about something many people do quietly, without thinking much about it: buying lottery tickets. It's usually just a few dollars here and there, and the feeling that comes with it is familiar. Maybe this time, maybe this one will change everything. It's not really the money we're buying, it's the hope of a better tomorrow. But that hope often comes with a cost we don't notice. Let me tell you about Dolores, a 65-year-old from Ohio. She used to buy lottery tickets twice a week, Wednesdays and Saturdays, without fail. It became part of her routine, not because she was desperate, but because she liked imagining what she would do if she won. She pictured paying off her home, helping her children, taking a trip, maybe finally relaxing. Those dreams felt comforting. But after 5 years, she decided to look at how much she had spent. She added up her ticket purchases, and the total was over $4,800, almost $5,000. And she realized something difficult. That money could have already helped her do some of the things she was waiting for the lottery to provide. So Dolores made a small but powerful change. Instead of buying tickets, she began putting $10 a week into a small envelope she labeled Joy Fund. In just a few months, she used it to join a pottery class and take a weekend trip with her sister, something she had been dreaming about for years. And she said something wise. "I didn't need luck. I just needed to choose myself." The truth is, you are already rich in the ways that matter, in love, wisdom, experience, and resilience. The lottery cannot give you the life you deserve, but small, intentional choices can. 6. The true cost of food delivery convenience. Food delivery feels easy, almost comforting. A few taps on the phone and a warm meal arrives at the door. No cooking, no dishes, no effort. And in moments of loneliness or low energy, it can feel like a small gift to ourselves. But convenience has a cost, not just in money, but in how we feel physically and emotionally. Let me tell you about Janet, age 63, from California. After her husband passed, cooking felt heavy. The house was quiet. The kitchen reminded her of the life she used to share. So she began ordering takeout, first once a week, then a few times, and soon it became her routine. Thai noodles, pizza, sandwiches, whatever felt comforting in the moment. A year later, at her doctor's visit, she learned her blood pressure was high, her cholesterol had climbed, and she often felt tired. When she looked at her bank statements, she realized she had spent over $3,200 that year on takeout, mostly meals eaten alone, in silence, in front of a television. That realization hurt, not because of guilt, but because she missed herself. So Janet made a gentle promise: 3 home-cooked meals a week. Nothing fancy, just simple food with real ingredients. She started with soups, roasted vegetables, and small portions of grilled chicken or fish. She listened to music while she cooked. She set her table, even though it was just for her. And something beautiful happened. She began to enjoy the process. She felt calmer. She slept better. Her clothes fit more comfortably. She invited her neighbor over once a week, and they shared stories and laughter while eating meals made with care. Cooking is not just about feeding the body. It is about feeding the heart. 7. The guilt of unused exercise equipment. A lot of us have been there. We get inspired, we make a plan, and we order the treadmill, the stationary bike, the elliptical, the weights. We imagine ourselves using it every day, getting stronger, feeling healthier. The intention is real, the hope is honest, but then life shifts. Our schedule changes, our energy changes, or our body needs more gentleness than pressure. And that shiny equipment starts collecting dust in the corner. And instead of motivation, it brings guilt. Let me share Patricia's story. She's 69 and lives in Georgia. Last year, she bought a brand new treadmill. It wasn't cheap. For the first couple of weeks, she used it faithfully. But then her knee began hurting. Then her sister came to stay. Then she got busy. And one day she realized she hadn't stepped on it in months. But every time she walked past it, she felt something heavy. Not just regret about the money, but a quiet voice inside saying, "I should be doing more." That guilt didn't make her healthier. It only made her feel discouraged. One afternoon, her granddaughter came to visit. She pointed at the treadmill and asked, "Do you like running?" Patricia smiled softly and said, "Not really." And in that moment, she realized something true. She didn't fail. The treadmill simply didn't fit her life anymore. So she listed it online and sold it to someone who would actually use it. With that money, she bought a comfortable pair of walking shoes and joined a small walking group at the local park. 2 mornings a week, she walks with women her age, talking, laughing, and breathing fresh air. And she says she has never felt better. Exercise doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to happen in your house. And it definitely shouldn't come with shame. Your body needs movement, not machines. Movement that feels gentle, joyful, and natural. 8. The empty promise of overpriced courses. There's a certain kind of ad that appears everywhere these days. On Facebook, on YouTube, in emails. It promises transformation. Find your purpose. Reinvent yourself. Awaken your inner power. And it sounds inspiring, especially when life has shifted and we are searching for meaning, routine, and connection in a new chapter. But many of these courses are priced high, and the truth is, the wisdom they claim to offer is often wisdom we already carry inside. Let me tell you about Sandra, age 71, from Minnesota. After retiring from a long career working in healthcare, she felt something was missing. Her days were quiet. The sense of being needed, the sense of making a difference, felt far away. So when she saw an online coaching program that promised clarity and emotional rebirth, she signed up. It cost her over $3,800. She attended every session. She took notes. She filled out every worksheet. But at the end, she noticed something important. The lessons weren't new. They were things she had lived, learned, and survived already, from years of raising children, losing loved ones, working hard, and rebuilding after heartbreaks. One afternoon, while reading her journal, she wrote a sentence that changed her perspective. "I don't need someone to teach me who I am. I just need to remember who I have always been." So Sandra shifted her focus, not to buying answers, but to sharing herself. She joined book club at her local library. She volunteered at a women's shelter once a week. She began mentoring a younger woman who reminded her of herself at 30. And her sense of purpose returned, not because she paid for it, but because she gave it. Here is the truth. You are not unfinished. You are not lost. You are not lacking. You are a woman who has lived, learned, loved, lost, and rebuilt. 9. The hidden cost of buying a brand new car. There comes a point in life when we feel we've earned something nice, something new, something that says, "I've worked hard and I deserve this." And truly, you do deserve comfort, safety, and ease. But when it comes to buying a brand new car, the price we pay often gives us less than what we expect. Let me tell you about Evelyn, age 75, from Illinois. For most of her life, she drove practical, used cars. They were reliable, paid off, and good enough. But when her old sedan finally needed replacing, she thought, "It's my turn. I want something new." So she went to the dealership and bought a brand new SUV with all the latest features. At first, it felt wonderful. The new car smell, the smooth ride, the compliments. But then the monthly payments started to feel heavy. The insurance was higher. The maintenance wasn't cheap either. After a year, Evelyn looked at the car's resale value out of curiosity and realized it had already lost over 30% of its value. Thousands of dollars, simply gone. Not because she did anything wrong, but because new cars lose value the moment they leave the lot. And that's when something hit her. She wasn't driving freedom, she was paying for stress. So she made a different choice. She traded the SUV for a 2-year-old certified pre-owned car, still clean, comfortable, safe, and under warranty. Her payments were cut in half, and with the money she saved, she finally took that weekend train trip through the mountains that she had dreamed of for years. And she said, the memories were worth more than the car ever was. The lesson is gentle but powerful. We no longer need to impress anyone. We no longer need to chase shiny things. We need comfort, safety, and peace of mind. Sometimes the smarter choice is not the newest, but the one that lets us breathe easier. If you heard your own story in any of these points today, I want you to remember something important. There is no shame in learning. Every woman who reaches this stage of life has made choices based on love, habit, survival, or simply doing the best she could at the time. That is not failure. That is living. What matters now is how you feel moving forward. Not yesterday, not the past, today. And today, you have the chance to choose lighter, calmer, and kinder habits for yourself. Even a small shift, reviewing one subscription, cooking one meal at home, taking one walk, letting go of one unnecessary purchase can create more peace than you realize. You deserve comfort. You deserve security. You deserve to feel proud of the life you are living now. So take one gentle step, just one, not to impress anyone, but to take care of yourself. And before we end, I'd love to hear from you. Which part of today's message stood out the most to you? Share it in the comments. Your words may give encouragement to another woman who needs it today.